Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Tools and Techniques Thursday for Facebook. It's good to see everybody showing up on this sunny Thursday afternoon. I'm just going to move my screen here so I see how many of you are actually there. Okay, I will if I can find the mouse. There's Robin coming in from Maryland. Oh boy. So Loanne's here and Carol's here. Tina's here. I think Billy has sent us a little hi. Hi, Billy. So, yes, Thursday afternoon, and it is um, Tools and Techniques Thursday. So, I am really happy to carry on with something that just might help everybody with our May challenge. As you know, we are coming to the end of May. Oh dear, I know, and that means June's right around the corner too. One more week left on our May challenge, and if you remember, that was to make something out of felt. So I know throughout the month we've kind of given you some hints and some ideas. I think last week Sandy talked to you about needle felting with your sewing machine, nice and speedy. Well, I'm going to slow things down a bit because I like slow things this time of the afternoon. I'm about ready for a nap. And I am going to show you how easy it is to needle felt by hand. It's a ton of fun, doesn't require a lot of expensive tools or equipment. It's something that you could do carefully with the younger members of your family, and it's so flexible and so creative. I think it's just worth showing you what we can do. So what I'm going to start with are the tools you're going to need. So our line is from Clover. This guy is your needle felting pen. And let me show you what a needle felting needle actually looks like here. Let's see if we can get the close-up camera going. There we go. Pull that guy out. So, a little hard to see. This is a single needle felting needle. And the tip of it from about here to here is flat-sided, kind of almost triangular, and it's got little barbs on it, little sharp spots. And that's what's going to felt or mat your fibers together. You can work with the single needle, or you can work with something like this. This is the Clover needle felting pen, and it's got 3 needles in it. Now you can take a couple out, just work singly for really delicate things, or you can use 2 or 3 needles in that. Goes a little bit faster. My personal needle felter is looks like a serious weapon here, but that's from before. So how do we work this? What do we do with it? What do we work on? What you would like to felt on is a fabric that needle's going to kind of poke through easily. So it will work on quilting cotton, but a lot of times we want something with a little more texture, a little more softness. So I'm actually just going to work on felt for the time being. You could also use some of our wool. This is the Sue Spargo line. I wonder if they don't call it anything. This is just a very fine wool fabric right there. And then we have our heavier, like a wool melton almost a boiled wool feel. And so you could felt on that. You could felt on a sweater, especially a slightly denser woven sweater, not the really loose ones, because you need things to stick. So techniques are all going to be pretty much the same. To get you started, if you're not sure what to felt, we found this little guy, 2x2 tote, and that is a needle felted couple of bag patterns in there, and they're using hand dyed wool cotton canvas, cotton drill, lining fabric, and the Clover needle felting tools on that one. And these guys happen to be in the half price section. Gotta love half price fabrics. And that reminds me, I'm supposed to tell you, it's our best kept secret sale. Coming up next week, we're going to try and clear a lot of our slightly more vintage fabrics, shall we say. They've been around for a while. Time to move them out, get ready for some new stuff. So join us starting Tuesday of next week for some really good deals in our clearance sale. So, okay, now you're going, well, what'll I make with this needle felting? I'm going to grab this. I'm not going to pull it because it's going to fall down. So I brought this in. This is what you saw on your introductory splash screen when I was playing with some needle felting in the past. And what it is, I went to the thrift shop and I bought a 100% wool sweater, pink, obviously, and brought it home. Washed it the way we're not supposed to wash wool sweaters, in hot water in the washing machine, rinsed it in cold water and threw it in the dryer. So that obviously shrinks and felts that wool. Then I had a piece of fabric that I could cut up and make a little bag out of. Before I sewed the bag together, I needle felted with some colored, it's called wool roving. We have a few packs of colored wool roving here. And I laid it out and felted it to the fabric of the bag before I sewed the bag together. So that's one idea of what you can do with all this needle felting stuff. So let's show you how easy it is to do. And I'm going to start, let's start with our top camera. There you go. So I have a brush, again by Clover. You can see the thickness of it. And this is so the needles have something to pierce through without jamming into a table surface or anything hard and breaking the needle. I'm going to work on felt because we had some and it's nice and it's brightly colored. And what I'm going to start with is, this is raw wool, just not quite as it came off the sheep. It has been washed and cleaned. This might still have a few little speckles of things in it, but it's just fibers like this. So you would pull it out, maybe take a really small piece like that, give it a little twist, lay it down, and I think I'll make kind of a, we'll try for a petal shape. There we go, lay it down on there. I'm going to use, I think I will use my triple felting needle because I want to get this fastened down. So I'm just going to pierce through. And you can see how quickly that actually sticks to that felt. Book, 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 book. So if I lift that off, scooch that over the way. If I lift that off, you can already see, let's put you close up here. You can see how the tufts are coming through to the back side of the felt. Now what I might do to get a little more definition is use the single needle, tuck some of these guys in, and just keep on working it down. The nice thing with this, if this is too long, I can just kind of pull that part away so I get the shape I want. Super easy. If that's not dense enough, if I want that to be a little heavier looking, I can take more wool and add it on top and felt that together. There, now it's held down. I can carry on shaping that however I like. Pull the tufts away, You can trim them with scissors if you want. You can twist them. Give yourself a little sort of a stem on your leaf. But I really like the soft, fluffy look this gives you. And that's about all there is to it. That has a really nice texture. It's come through well enough. Depending on what you're using things for, you may want to felt a little more completely so it's really well fastened down. And if you want, you can stitch right over this to add accents, add veins in your leaf. Now that sort of thing. But you say, oh, but wool roving is a little hard to come by. Maybe it's a little, yeah, you don't care for the colors. What else can I use? Well, you can actually felt. This is just a piece of our acrylic wool blend felt. Again, I'm starting with a leaf shape. I'm going to scooch over so you can see. Now, this pierces a little differently, so I'm going to start very carefully and go down the center. A little firmer to go through. Right to the tip. Now it's secured. Carry on. It doesn't have to be fast. You can work slowly. Just don't stick your fingers. These needles are spread a little too far apart for something that small. I'm better off. This is where I think your clover pen tip is going to be about the right size. So that's kind of fun. That's going to give you a sharper look, sharper edges. And that's now fastened right through the felt, ready to go. From that point, you could add other fibers. This is the Sue Spargo Eleganza. What do we got here? From Wonderfil. So this is a thread. You can also use yarn and lay that on top of there and pierce through that to felt things together. So that's kind of fun. That's holding fairly well. You could carry on. I made a few more here and build yourself quite a nice little flower that way with felt on felt. What else could we felt? Well, there it is. Got a little carried away. If you remember a while ago, we did 22 things you could do with quilt batting. Well, I just found 23. So there is Mr. Kitty Cat. He's not gonna really fit. He's a little bit big. But that's just a piece of standard quilt batting that I am going to felt down to my felt. So that's another option. First things, now he's kind of bigger, so I could use the big needle, but I kind of like to don't know if you can see it on the screen, but everywhere that I pierce kind of indents that a bit, so you can actually add detail work to your images. You establish a bit of a rhythm with this. Running off the edge of my brush here. So you can see, whoa, pull him off. He's well fastened down. Just starting to see the tufts on the back. We could do a lot more. It just depends on what you're using the item for. If it's going to take a little bit of wear and tear, like a bag, you're going to want to felt it down pretty securely. If it's just going to be decorative, maybe on maybe a Christmas decoration, you could felt some cute little snowman onto things all the way around the edges like this. There we go. So there's 3 things that you can felt to felt or to any other type of material that you might want to work with. But there's one more fun things you can do with these felting needles. And if you've ever gone to a craft sale or I guess it was pre-COVID, we went to the Spinners and Weavers Guild out in Millerville to see what they were doing. And aside from a lot of beautifully woven garments, scarves, that sort of thing, you saw a lot of felted little animals. So I kind of got started on one. It's very, very simple. Same process we've been doing. I started with just a lump of raw wool like this. So far I've got it that far, and you can feel it's starting to feel like those pieces of Kleenex you forget in your pants pocket and then go through the wash and they get kind of all matted up. Same idea. You're going to hold your wool and pierce it with the needle. Keep kind of folding it in. And you are literally felting the wool to itself. You can see how now that's holding there. Lift it off, tuck it in. Mind your fingers. So if you ever wanted to create a few little farm animals for, I'm going to try and get that so you can actually see what I'm doing and my hand's not in the way. So I'm just piercing it through. Peel it off, turn it over. Like that. And it gradually gets stiffer, denser, until you can actually have it felted into a nice little ball. Make 2 or 3, felt them together. Then you got a little herd of sheep there. Then you can go back to your felt squares, glue on a couple of ears and a nose. And that's all there is to it. So simple. So simple. And this, because you can work in 3 dimensions, it gives you so much flexibility. Now we're getting there. I'm going to make a little tiny sheep. So that's the basics of hand needle felting. It's not hard, it's not strenuous, and it gives you so much possibilities for creating cute little things, wonderful little things. If I'm working with the raw wool, what have we got here? Chelsea's got a couple packages of the wool roving. If you can access plain wool like this, you can dye it. That's how Viebag got the colored wool on it. I just used good old Dylon dye on it. Because it's a natural fiber, it will accept dye quite nicely. And then you'll have a whole rainbow to felt down onto your pieces. So that's the basics of needle felting. Maybe try and incorporate that into your May Felt Challenge. Work on felt, I wouldn't try felting onto denim. That could be a little stiff. But any of the softer fabrics that you have, and create yourself something wonderful and have a little fun while you're doing it. So keeping that in mind, May Felt Challenge is going to wrap up. Gosh, I guess we've got about a week left on that one. What else is going on around here? Our clearance sale, don't forget that, coming up next week. Um, and let's see, I have a list. I guess there's not a whole lot. I know we have a Kimberbell class tomorrow. So if you've signed up for that, don't forget to tune in for our Kimberbell. We're trying to be a little bit more organized with our Facebook instead of just kind of off the cuff here. And so tomorrow, for our second edition of our Fan Mail Fridays, we're going to answer some more of our viewers' questions. It's always nice when we get the feedback from our viewers, the suggestions, the questions. We love answering them. So tomorrow we're going to, any questions we get that we can kind of answer right away, we will certainly answer in the one session. But a lot of times some of the questions need a little bit more space to expand and explore. So I think what I'm going to do for tomorrow is jump back to a question we had from one of you nice folks regarding how to do a quilt as you go, how to join the pieces together. And I was thinking about it. We're definitely going to cover that, but I think I'm going to just kind of give you some sense of various ways you can handle quilting a larger project. So that'll be coming up tomorrow on Fan Mail Fridays. I think next week, I'm not sure what Sandy's got scheduled for Wednesdays, but lots of fun things on our list and lots of things to explore on Facebook with my Facebook friends. And I know Sandy will have some new jokes because Sandy always has new jokes. That's about it for today. Felting is so simple, it really doesn't take a lot of time to explain and explore. One more thing to point out to you, you're probably kind of spying some of this lovely fabric I have behind me. This is a brand new line. Got to plan ahead in the quilting world. Let's take this one. He's easy to grab. This is a brand new line of flannels, or flannelette as we used to call it, designer flannel. And it's from Riley Blake. Now what this one says, it just says designer flannel. But the whole line has a few woodland. There's a cute one. Look at these guys. Here I go destroying Chelsea's display again. How about bicycling bears? Look at this guy here. That's kind of fun. And this one is bear on a bike. Well, that makes sense. So brand new line of flannel if you're in the market. Those campers and trailers that we're finally getting a chance to use again this year, they're going to need some cozy blankets to keep you warm around the fire, eh? So that's new in. That'll be hitting the floor probably, well, quite possibly tomorrow, and available for you. Soft range. Chelsea says, I'm not sure a unicorn is a woodland creature, but hey, who knows? I haven't been out in the woods that much recently. Maybe the unicorns have moved in. So that's what we have for you today on Tools and Techniques Thursday. Thank you for joining us. And thank you for being part of our My Sewing Room community. It's really nice to see all the same names up here on the screen every day, and it's nice to have people joining us from across the continent, across the world even. So if you have friends that are traveling, we're as close as a click away. Until tomorrow, when we get to explore some other fun things, take care, everybody. Have a great Thursday, and give needle felting a try. I think you're going to like it more than you expect to. You go, oh, well, it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward, but it can be kind of mesmerizing and relaxing. So until then, have a great afternoon, stay safe, and stay warm, which is going to be fairly easy at 20 degrees out there right now. Bye for now.